Didn't put any makeup on.
Okay, and welcome to AI, the cool stuff. It's that time of the week again, and we're so welcome everyone who's come in. We sometimes get a couple of people who drift in late, um, you know, and that's all right. That's cool. That's fine. So what we're going to do is that we do go around the room to start with, because it is about business networking as well. So we'll go around the room. You can take about a minute to introduce what it is you do. Um, and I seem to have frozen. All right, okay. I froze. I don't know if everybody else did. So give us about a minute on what you do and tell us. I had a great question that I wanted to ask people. Oh, AR, artificial reality goggles. You know those.
Oh yeah.
Has anyone ever used them? And if they have, what do they think? So, Jackie, you're the first one here. So let's go. Let's start with you.
Okay. I'm Jackie Ground. So I run a network for business women called 1230 The Women's Company with monthly lunchtime meetings and also events. I've got a big event coming up at Bromley Old Town Hall on the 17th of October. If any of you would like to go to that, just give me a shout. I also, as you can see behind me, let's get the right finger. Oh, yes. Uh, run a radio show, a weekly radio show on Mondays, which I just invited David to. But if any of you would like to, interested, do give me a shout on that. So you can find my details on the website and on social media. So it's all the W's and then the numbers 1230.co.uk. This is my 22nd year in this particular business. And AR, no, I've never tried it. So thank you for an interesting question on that. So Jackie, 1230 The Women's
Cool.
Company.
There is a reason for the question. Shirley,
Sure.
that's what you think AR all the time. I can't imagine yet a day goes past when you're not using AR.
Good morning. I'm Shirley. I work in health and wellness and I make people look good and feel fabulous. How do I do that? I use a range of products, and some of which you can see behind me, that supports your immune health, your gut health, your skin health, your weight, and your general all around look good and feel good health. Um, I am, what am I doing? Looking for people who might want to have an extra income with just Christmas. A couple of £100, I can show you how. And if you want to start your Christmas shopping, I have a great range of products that I can do hampers for you. So I'm Shirley. I help you look good and feel fabulous. Thank you.
Okay, and AR goggles. I'm guessing no.
Never used it. I think one of my sons has one, but I've never tried it. And the other son says it's a waste of time. It'll never catch on.
Okay, okay. Um, Jackie, you got your finger up, is it?
Sorry, is it appropriate to ask Shirley a very quick question?
Go ahead.
Shirley, what's the name of your products?
It's for a living.
Hooray. Good. Thank you.
Right, Andy, tell us about you.
Yeah, Andy, Web Success Insights help people get more from their websites and show them the house addresses and company names to go to their websites as well if they want to know that and follow up with it. My AR experience, I haven't had any AR experience. You're talking about the walking around in places and stuff like that, aren't you, David? Just sort of like a rather than the AI glasses type thing.
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, I've never actually tried it. I can't actually see how it will catch on
No,
in the same way that I can't see the normal glasses catching on unless they do clever things like you walk up to someone and it instantly tells you everything about them in your thing, which would be super cool and just a little
Massive
bit.
invasion of privacy.
And yeah, and an absolute invasion of privacy. And so someone's obviously going to do it.
yeah, 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 definitely. It's probably already.
Well,
There's
Yeah,
government
but
agents walking all around going.
I,
And
I, I
there is.
think I think so. I mean, do I think the younger generation will do that? Have something on their face going around looking at stuff? I'm sure there is going to be a market for it, but I guess it's going to be a minority.
they'll be walking around just watching TikTok in one eye and walking around in a daze anyway. So I mean, they walk around days anyway. They might as well be looking at
A bit
TikTok.
like they do now with a phone in their hand, really. Yeah. Yeah.
If you have to hold the phone,
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's good. Steffi.
I'm Steffi Lewis, 31-year veteran web developer, founder and creator of Your PCM and Splogit with an exclamation mark. Must remember to put that in because Michael pulled me up on it yesterday. Why aren't you promoting Splogit anymore? Oh, well, all right. Currently working on Your PCM V2, 86% complete. That will move forward over the weekend because I'm working on the new mailing list system, which so far is absolutely bloody epic. AR. Well, I had a VR headset and I didn't like it because when I was in flight sims, it made me sick. So it was probably good because it was doing the right thing. But I just found it too heavy on my neck. So what I want is a pair of glasses that has two buttons. I can either press it once to go into AR, and I've got people's information coming up and information about, where I am and what buildings are what, and so just general Iron Man stuff. But I want another button that I press and it becomes proper VR, so I can watch films and stuff. But I also want to be able to have it so I've got virtual screens all around me and a virtual keyboard in front of me. So it doesn't matter where I am, I can actually code. That's the weird thing about it. And the keyboard has to be so responsive that it takes all my key presses properly. That's the thing. How you would do that without any tactile feedback, I've got no idea. But I'm all for glasses that do what it's supposed to do. That's the thing. But VR headsets, nah, forget it, it's too heavy.
Yeah. Okay. My name's David Harris. I'm a WordPress expert. I host websites as well as creating websites. I host people's servers and support them as well. So when things go bad, that's what to say that I love it when things go bad. It sounds bad, but I mean, it's if someone's updated a plugin and all they've got is a white screen, and then they try and log into the back end and all they get is a white screen. Those are my favorites.
We cry.
Because and when you say, what's the last thing you did? And then they sort of, they usually know, not always, and so I just can log into the server, undo the last thing they did, and then it all works again. But there are other things to do as well. So that's me. AR glasses, yes, I have used them. I had two programs. One was basically just sitting on a tropical beach and throwing stones into the water. And trying to avoid coconuts from falling on my head. And the other one was just sitting in a rowing boat while it went down the river and under bridges and everything else. And it was quite relaxing and I quite enjoyed it. But I do take the point that they are quite heavy. The ones I used were it was a couple of years ago and you needed your mobile phone in the front as well. So they weren't independent ones. Now you can get sort of, obviously the meta ones are just run off the internet, so you don't need your phone in there. But so that was that. So yeah,
We need Iron Man tech.
yeah. Let me just show you this, and I'll see what you think. It's only a minute. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but there's
So today was the big Meta Connect event, and I got to be here.
I didn't want to do that one. This is the one I want.
Meta just unveiled Orion, their groundbreaking new AR glasses, and they are mind-blowing. Imagine wearing regular-looking glasses that can display holograms, recognize objects, and even let you video call with 3D avatars. These aren't just concepts. I saw them in action myself at Meta Connect. Here's what makes Orion special. First, the display. They use silicon carbide lenses with micro LED projectors, giving you a huge 70-degree field of view. That's way wider than any previous AR glasses. But what's really cool is how you control them. There's voice control, there's eye tracking, and even a wristband that reads your muscle signals for subtle gestures. Pinch your fingers and boom, you've selected an app. Orion can identify objects around you, overlay digital info in the real world, and even help you cook by recognizing ingredients and showing recipes right in front of you. And the best part, no wires. A wireless puck in your pocket does all the computing, giving you the freedom to move around however you want. While Orion isn't available to buy yet, it shows us that the future of AR is closer than we think. Meta just unveiled Orion, their groundbreaking.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay, so that's sort of more or less what you were saying earlier, you know.
Yeah, but you look like a
Yeah.
massive geek wearing those. I want glasses like these.
Yeah, yeah.
That's,
Well, you can see, obviously, you saw the video there. You've got my ones here, which, you know, they've obviously got a little bit thinner than those, and I only paid £2 in Primark for these ones.
yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
probably about the size limit that I'd be happy with. But those other geeky ones make you look like, I don't know what make you look like. So, but I'd go for the size that, you know, the frame size that you've got, Andy.
Yeah, but
Once
we
you
get,
get
but we will get that issue when these things do come out and they become more mainstream. That anyone wearing a certain type of glasses, like this sort of thing, people are going to be automatically suspicious of them because you're going to think, "What do you know? What do you know about them?"
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a
But as
bit
long as
scary, isn't it?
Sorry, go on, Jackie.
No, I just say I think, you know, it's a bit scary, isn't it? I think with AI, a lot of people were very scared of AI, but now I think it's settling down a bit. People are realizing how useful it can be. I don't know whether everybody else is finding that.
Yeah, yeah,
You look
yeah,
at America, for example, their lack of privacy laws,
yeah.
and that they know everything about everyone anyway.
Mm.
You would have unlimited information just by looking at someone potentially.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
It
You,
never
you,
happened in the EU. They just wouldn't let it happen.
no, they wouldn't. No.
Mm.
Because you can produce an email list and it'll tell you if any of those people have ever used an American Express card while shopping online.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's so you're targeting the people who have got American Express cards, so you assume they've a bit more, you know, got a bit more money than the people who haven't, you know.
It's
So
got to
it's
come, hasn't it? It's got to come.
yeah, yeah. So it's, you know, no, it's interesting. I mean, sort of Meta's standard AR glasses are their top of the range ones are about £6,000. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much we're talking about for these glasses when they come out, and
Yeah.
it's only got a battery life of 2 to 3 hours because the scope for putting a battery in is pretty limited. You're just down the arms of the glasses, aren't you? Along with all the processors and everything else. I mean, it's everything's got to fit around the. It's why it's got a slightly more chunky rim.
Let's say it had a puck in your pocket which did all the computing.
Oh right, okay.
But that's two devices then you've got to keep charged.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. We'll get there. I mean, you know, technology is moving forward, battery tech is moving forward as the technology shrinks, and it always does invariably, you know, and the batteries become more powerful. We can realistically look at what Andy's wearing, you know, and I think once we get there, and you know, like I said, I'd like a button. One, push the button, it turns into sunglasses. Two, it's completely clear. Three, it's got my work mode. Four, it's got my AR mode of, you know, this is what Andy likes for his dinner on a Friday, that sort of thing. And then five is full on, I'm sitting on my sofa watching a movie, you know, and everything else is blacked out.
Which
And that
which is okay unless you've got Parkinson's. Yes, then
yeah.
just
Yeah. But if you think it'll get rid of a load of kit, wouldn't it? You wouldn't need a TV because you can just sit back and watch it on your glasses, and then or you wouldn't need a computer because you'd get your iMac. You know, your screen would be there.
Yeah, I know.
Virtual
The keyboard would be a
would be
problem,
there.
but
So,
you wouldn't need your phone because you're making and receiving calls on your glasses. You wouldn't need your voice assistant because that's built in.
yeah.
I think the interesting thing is, you know, people will spend roughly £1,000 on an iPhone nowadays.
Mm,
So, you know, once that cost does start to come down,
mm,
I think it's going to happen. Give it 5, 10 years. I think we'll be at that point, you know. But I think now, I mean, those Meta ones, great concept, but I wouldn't wear them. They look like an idiot.
mm, yeah.
But millennials would. That's the thing. I heard a really interesting quote that if technology has been invented when you were born, it just becomes acceptable.
Mm.
So, you know, eventually you're going to get to the point where we've got these glasses, and everybody who's born over the last 5, 10 years, and they're sort of teenagers when they can access it, they'll just wear it and won't complain.
Yeah. That's what they
Yeah.
say about sort of developing tech that you plant into your brain, you know, or it's sort of,
And again, I'd do it if I could have an Ethernet socket in the back of my mind, you know, and I could just be on the internet and create stuff, you know, I would happily do it. In fact, upload me to the internet when I die. I'm totally there.
they got, yeah.
I'm actually more concerned that David's monkey behind him has actually got a pet set of those glasses on him and he's looking at him.
Yeah, he's really a government agent. I mean, he might look like a buffoon, but he's actually a very switched on guy.
Now you tell us.
Sit around and waste the money, you know.
But can you taking Jackie's business, for example, you're doing networking. Can you imagine a day where people become aware of these things and you get someone turn up at one of your physical networking meetings who's got a pair of these glasses on them? Wow. And people are going, oh, okay. What are you doing?
And just streaming the whole meeting live on
So
Facebook.
you can't come in if you've got glasses on. So
Yeah, that's it, because you can record it onto the cloud. You wouldn't need anything, you know.
I could be out of business.
it's a long way off yet, Jackie. Don't worry about you, make your millions by then.
Oh, great. Thank you for that reassurance.
Good. And the other thing I saw that was out this week was Ask Photos, Google Gemini's Ask Photos. I don't know if you saw that, but it's basically it's image recognition. So you can have a conversation with your photograph collection. I assume it's got to be on Google, but it uses AI to analyze the images and understand all the images in your photo collection. And then you say, oh, I had a meeting with some guy, had glasses on and black hair. It was like a couple of years ago. We had a photograph of it. Can you find that for me? You know, and it will go in and
Oh my word.
it will pull the photograph out.
And that would be better than like on an iPhone, for example, where you try and type in a subject you're looking for and it sort of fails pretty badly on finding those subjects.
It does, yeah. It'll find, like, if you've keyed in someone's name, you know, you can click on somebody, give it a name, then it pull out all the photographs with that person's name in it. But
wow.
It's actually saying, you know, perhaps I was at the seaside, I was at Brighton Beach, you know, eating a hamburger. Who was there with me, you know, and it was so wow. It can pull those things out. So it's supposed to be. I haven't seen it, I haven't used it because my photos are not on Google, you know, so mine are on iCloud. So
yeah.
I don't know, but it's something. I think obviously Apple will have an equivalent at some point, but it's I think it's, I don't know if it's only available on Android, but a lot of things Google bringing up is only in things, and they guarantee privacy as well. So if that means anything, I don't know. But
there'll always be somebody out there to crack it, won't there?
Yeah, they say there's privacy controls and protect your data. And the other thing was, does anyone use Poe? I know we've been through it before. It's got, now their chat box has got access to real-time search information. Shall I just quickly? I do use it sometimes. I don't use it a lot.
Have you had any luck on getting it to do things like, I asked it to look at things like my health, downtime, some other little things, tried to do it all within one prompt and then asked it to give me random tips.
Right.
And it struggles a little bit, but I might be doing it wrong.
Okay.
No, I've not used it.
Yeah, because it's got a massive number of bots. I mean, it's essentially, you can use it for free. You get 3,000 points a day. Using a chat in the assistant is 20. So you get 150 chats a day, and then it gets renewed the following day. If you use other things, it eats up a lot of. If you subscribe, which is, I think it's about 16 a month, or it might be more, you get 1 million a month, points a month. But it's, say if you used GPT-4, it's a bucket full of points, I imagine. Oh, 15 per mini. Okay, that's not too bad. That's if you use the latest large language, 570 per message. So you only get 3 messages a day in a GPT 4.0. But the 4.0 mini, you would get quite a lot of conversations. and their main assistant is pretty good. So I mean, it's okay. You can create images and things with your some of them are quite cheap. I noticed image generation bots, ideogram, stable diffusion is probably a popular one. 120 per messages, so you get quite a few messages for your 3,000 points. So
Which one's the image one that's quite good with words? Is that in there?
um,
Can't remember what it was called. It gets words right better than some of the other image
oh
generators.
yeah. Was it? Wasn't ideogram, was it? Yeah, I know. We did that one, didn't we?
I can't remember what it was though.
No, I'll have to look back on the notes. I mean, I've got all the notes, but I'll have to have a look at that too. So it's yeah, I think it's improved a lot, and the other
Have a look at that.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other one. Is does anyone use Copilot?
No.
I use
I've been trying-
ChatGPT.
Yeah. Oh, ChatGPT. Okay.
That's
I've been
the
trying to
other
use Gamma. Like I know you talk about Gamma a bit, and you seem to quite like it.
Yeah.
I've not had much success with it. I've tried to sort of get it to take a website page and then turn it into a presentation, but so far I haven't had much luck with it doing a great job on it.
All right. I'll have to try
You,
that.
you,
I haven't used the website page. I've normally just given
There's
it
normally too much crap on a
done
web
prompts.
page. I normally, in the Splogit and your AI, I'll extract the text from it first and then just give the text to the AI because there's a lot of garbage above the body and a lot of garbage after the body. So you need to just extract the text out of the body. So that's what I do is I actually get the web page, take everything above body and everything below / body, and then send it off to my Neutrino API to extract the text from it.
And that works better. Okay.
Yeah, because then I can actually just I then send it to 4.0 Mini and tell it to write a blog post from this text, and all right, okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So if you can automate that splitting of it and the extraction, use Neutrino API.
Neutrino, is that NU or NEU?
NEU, Neutrino, as it's spelled, and then they have I think it's a HTML analyzer API, but it extracts text. You can just say, do I want it with basic HTML or do I want it as plain text? So I just pull out the plain text.
Yeah.
And then send that off to ChatGPT and say, write a blog post about this.
Yeah, cool.
So
Funny talking about youngsters. You were talking about youngsters, David, weren't you? I was having a conversation with some 15-year-old, youngsters about how amazing it is that we can speak into something like whether it's an Alexa or whatever it is we speak into, and how it translates that into text, and then it goes off as text and it interprets it in some, to get the answer, and then it has to go back into text before it becomes a voice, and it comes back out again all fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm saying how amazing it is, and they're like, "Yeah, so what? Like, take it for granted." Like, okay, you want glad
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned about having things when people are born, and it is just matter of fact that's what they do, don't they? It is what they're born with. I mean, dare I say, I can remember going to Beckenham swimming baths in a room there and being shown on a blackboard with a couple of other people what the internet was about. How is that going to work? And it was all chalk and things on the blackboard, and the description of that, which at that time was foreignese, if you like. But now it's life, isn't it? It's a matter of course.
Yeah.
But it's funny that everything's taken for granted, and imagine a day when all this stuff suddenly goes wrong, stops working for any period of time. The knock-on effect that's going to have.
It has had, hasn't it, recently? It has had recently.
Yeah, I had a power cut the other day, and it was only for like a second.
Yeah.
But it just completely switched everything off and back on again. So all my IoT hubs reset. All my lights came on at 100%, and it took me an hour to reboot my house.
Stephanie, where do you live?
I live in a village just north of Milton Keynes, so my power is actually really reliable.
Right.
Just every now and again, and it's completely random, but it's like once every 6 months we just get a blip of power, and that's enough to trip everything in my house.
Well, the reason I asked is I live in Beckenham and we had a power cut one evening, and like you, it was only a few seconds, but it screwed everything up for days. It screwed my computer, the TV. We've had to have a new box and all sorts on the TV. It was a nightmare. And then a few days after that, Virgin Media had an outage in the area. And it was the postcode, it was the whole postcode. Same with the power cut, was the whole postcode. And I was talking to somebody based, well, Barclays Bank in Bromley High Street, and apparently their provider is Virgin Media, as is HSBC, and they were affected as well with the outage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Like,
it's
I mean, all card
a
payments go
nightmare.
down the internet now. So, I mean, if it becomes, unless they've got, I would have thought they'd have had a backup, like a 5G, 4G sort of backup for
Well, if
taking
they
cards.
did, it didn't work.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, your router can have a SIM card in it, can't it? And use it as a backup to give you 100, close enough to 100% uptime. But
Yeah.
the most irritating thing about a power cut for me is having to reset the clock on the oven. Everything else is easy. That thing, you have to press about 1,000 buttons and keep your finger on it for about a day before it clicks around to the right time, and then and it goes around. Everything else just comes back on.
So annoying, isn't it? It does
Yeah.
that.
But that's just the one thing that was irritating.
But I still have a clock that when the power goes, I have to reset it, and it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. It depends if you're lucky about when it goes. If it goes off in the morning, it's not so bad. But if it goes off at 10 o'clock at night, you've got a big job on your hands because you've got,
Get it around the 24 again.
yeah. As you leave it till the next morning, of course.
See, it is really surprising.
I couldn't do.
It is surprising we've still got clocks that aren't attached to the internet.
Yeah.
I find that really strange. It's like my car; it doesn't move forward or backwards on BST and GMT.
Yeah, mine doesn't.
Like, why don't you do that? It's just a really simple thing.
It's the whole car's connected to the internet. It's got
Yeah,
like
I know.
in there somewhere, and it
Yeah.
does everything else. I mean, I can log into my car from my phone,
Mm.
but it
Yeah,
can't.
mine's not that clever, but yeah, so the car clock and my oven are the only two things that aren't connected to a time server somewhere.
Mm.
Everything else is. So you wake up on in October when we go back to GMT, and your whole house is absolutely fine except for those two things.
Mm.
And it's really annoying. So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Copilot. There's a new version came out the other day. It incorporates Copilot voice, which works a little bit like Pi when you install the app on your phone. And so it's a bit more business-like. The things I like about it is, one, it's 100% free, and everyone can use it. So you get so it's just it works everywhere. It works on your desktop. You can browse if you use Microsoft Edge, it's plumbed in. But I mean, otherwise you can you can just go to the website and use it. It's toned slightly less friendlier than Pi, but the thing I like is that it asks you questions about. If you give it a problem, it will make sure it's got background information, and it will go backwards and forwards to find out what's going on before it actually gives you the advice, which I think is brilliant. It's got 4 voices to choose from on the app, and it stores your chat history on the app, but it doesn't store it on the desktop. But yeah, as ZDNet say they it beat Gemini Live, which is another new one, chat one, in every test that it did for knowledge, accuracy, and speed. And Gemini Live's only available on Android, whereas Copilot's available everywhere. So yeah, I was quite impressed. I've got the app, but you can't see. you go. But you don't need to see it. I'll just you've got 4 voices to choose from.
I can write stories, brainstorm ideas, and I can sound like this if you choose.
I can get philosophical, creative, or poetic if you like. Think of me as your superpower in your pocket.
He sounds too much like Queeg on Red Dwarf, you know, the computer voice. I don't know if anybody knows one. I think Steffi probably knows what I'm talking about, but I don't know. Did you remember that one?
Well, it sounds like Crichton.
No, Queeg.
I
He
don't
was
know.
the backup personality for the computer.
Oh, right.
And he took over and he made them do all sorts of things. And it turned out to be Holly all along, just pretending to be this Queeg.
I'd have a Holly voice. That'd be quite cool. As long as it had a Holly personality.
Let's explore the world together. I can be your sounding board as you work through challenges.
Like that one.
As a companion, I learn about you and help unpack your thoughts, from what's for dinner to whatever you're dreaming about.
I think I prefer the one
I can
called
write
Wave.
stories, brainstorm ideas, and I can sound like this if you choose.
But he's a little bit hesitant, so I'm not. He's not always certain about what he's saying.
Can I have the Scarlett Johansson voice again?
The
one that got OpenAI into trouble.
Yeah. No, it's only got 4, you know. So
I had entire conversations with that voice. It was just really, really nice voice to talk to.
Yeah. And the other thing I like about it, as soon as you start to talk, it shuts up. So you can interrupt it and it will just shut up and listen until you've finished. So
that would be a nice experience, wouldn't it?
let me try this. Right, are you listening? Oh, hello, are you listening?
Yeah.
It's a nice touch, isn't it?
Okay. I know that most leaves are green, but why are some leaves red?
Ah, the autumn mood in full swing. Those leaves get their green from chlorophyll. But when it breaks down in autumn, the other pigments in the leaves, like carotenoids and anthocyanins, take over, giving us those classic autumn vibes with yellows, oranges, and reds. It's a neat reminder of nature's cycle. Does it get you in the October spirit?
No, I was more wondering about the trees that always have red leaves.
Ah, you mean the red leaves that stay red all year? Those are often from plants that naturally produce higher amounts of anthocyanins, which give them that vibrant red color. It's a bit like having a permanent autumn display, even when the rest of the world is green. Do you have a favorite tree or plant that flaunts red leaves?
Japanese maple.
No, that's it. Thank you. So yeah, so it's he's a bit slow. That's what I don't like. You can speed the voice up, so I might try him with a speeded voice.
Those gaps are a bit.
Yeah,
the gaps are a bit obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's the other ones just talk seamlessly. You know, the one that sounds like Queeg. He's very like he's like an exercise instructor. You know, he's give me 20, you know, and he's very like American Army, you know, so he's right on it. So he's very fast. So I know it's the voice rather than the actual response, you know. So it's because he comes out a bit too hesitant, so I'm going to switch him because he's too irritating. But and the other one is the desktop versions. I quite like it actually. I mean, why are some leaves red? I know that most leaves are green, but why are some naturally red?
Great question. The red color in some leaves is due to pigments called anthocyanins. These pigments are responsible for the red, purple, and blue colors in many plants, including leaves, grapes, and blueberries. Here are a few reasons why some leaves are red. Sunlight exposure.
So it's you can type the questions or you can just do that. The disadvantages of the web version is it doesn't store your chats, but you can copy and paste them, and it's got you can ask it anything or even get it to write a blog or do anything, you know. So it's
What does it do with businessy type things? To say you wanted to find, I don't know, a widget maker in a certain location. Does it come up with answers to that stuff like the other engines would do?
yeah, we could always ask it.
Ask who the best web developer is in Croydon, for example.
I
No, don't.
like it.
Well, I'm not actually in
You're
Croydon.
going to be very disappointed, aren't you?
It'll be okay. Actually, I just typed that in instead of voicing it. So it's these are several highly regarded RippleNet, never heard of them. Outrank Limited, never heard of it. Critical Mission Computing, never heard of them. Okay. So they don't come along to our network meetings. So
No.
it's personalized support, Joomla. So they specialize in Joomla. That's
They're
probably
thinking about it, you know, if you verbally doing that and just keep asking it other questions, it could be quite useful because
yeah.
you could go further and say, you know, I want someone to does WordPress or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the app works better than the website version because, well, one, you can just sit back and put your earpods in and just chat with it, you know, and then you can qualify the questions, and if it starts off down the wrong path, you can just stop it and interrupt, and it will stop, and then it will wait for your response, you know. So it's so you can get through it a lot quicker. So you can talk about any sort of. It's supposed to be particularly good at analysing business problems and marketing stuff, and you know, and going through things like that. So I think it's it's definitely, you know, sort of Microsoft have got a bit of a march on Google when it comes to that side of things, you know. And you don't have to, you know, probably ChatGPT's got a good voice facility as well, but you got to subscribe to get that. So and I guess and Scarlett Johansson isn't there anymore, so it's I imagine she was given the same information as, you know, as whatever their fake voices are. So,
She was livid, you know, when she found out that OpenAI built voicing that sounded just like her.
yeah,
And you know why they did it? Because of the film She.
yeah, that's
So
right.
they just thought, well, why not? And then she was going to sue them, or she is suing them, you know, for infringement of IP, her own IP. I was like, it was a really funny story.
Yeah, I can imagine that though. You know, I mean, I'd understand if someone wasn't 100% on board when they were doing that. So oh yeah, Does anyone ever use Snopes? I used to use it a lot, and I use Perplexity now more. But Snopes is the one for finding out, like you see some amazing fact or you see some rumor, you get a thing saying there's some virus going around that's going to affect everybody. You know, if anyone clicks on if anybody uses WhatsApp after next Thursday, a virus is going to sort of eat their phone. You know, and you see these emails come around and you see these messages that get posted on Facebook. You know, by well-meaning people, and it spreads virally. Snopes was always the place to go to quash a rumor. You know, it would tell you if that rumor was true or not.
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, it used to be.
It's like
I have used it, but not for a long time. Because exactly for the sort of thing that you're describing, David. But
yeah,
because people do post stuff up, and you sort of look at it and you think, really, and it's useful to have somewhere to check it out.
yeah. There's somebody said that Hurricane Milton was renamed to Millicent for Transgender Awareness Month.
and that it was government engineered, of course.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Seems like a good idea to me.
Yeah. The government sort of put yeah, exactly. They put some chemicals in the air to cause the thing.
They've
So,
really got a problem with Florida then. That's 2 in 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
so there's quote about childless people paying more tax is real, you know. These are obviously American-based things, but you can just paste in the part of the email that you get into there, and it will come up with the answer, and it's been pretty good. So it's using AI as well now. So they've got backbot. I saw it on Future Tools, you know. So it's I'm not sure how it works, but it's if you key in something it doesn't know, it'll go and find out there and then whether it's true or not. Was Walt Disney put in cryo freeze? No, he wasn't. Oh dear. Okay. I never thought that he was, but it was interesting to find out that he wasn't. Did Disney World ban flatulence in parks? It's a viral video. Oh, it wants me to log in. So I'm not going to log in. So I don't know is the answer to that.
I like the fact you can submit a rumor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So anyway, that's notes. It's got I haven't used the AI bit, but it's but I'd forgotten. I almost forgot about it because I normally go to I normally sort of use Perplexity and say, hey, I've just heard this, can you fact check it for me, you know, and it goes away and does it. So I think that's pretty good. Now this is I know we've been talking about your chatbot on your website, so and I've been trying to find out something that doesn't take a genius to actually use it and create a new there. So there's this thing called Brainy Bear. So it's brainybear.ai, and it's free if you've got less than 300 queries. You want one chatbot, and it's up to 300 queries a month. Doesn't say, it just wants me to sign off a thing. After that, it seems to get expensive, but you can buy credits, so you can be credit based on it as well. Doesn't this isn't the right page, but you can buy credits as well, so you can keep the free version. You can buy 50 quid's worth of credits in a pack, and they're valid for a year. So can't remember, it works out about 10 cents or 20 cents a query, something like that. So depends how much a query is worth to you. But if you got a low traffic website, then this is ideal, because I think you get up to 300. What I don't understand is once you go over one chatbot, it starts costing you money. Why would you not just create a new account for each chatbot? But anyway, creating it was quite easy. Oh, it doesn't want me to.
Stop changing it.
Oh, I've created one, and then I deleted it because I thought I'd need to create another one. But it's only going to allow me to create one. To actually create one. So let me log out. So brainybear.ai. Let's start for free. Log in. Sign up. Sign up with email. I'll see if this works, or unless it recognizes my IP. So this is it. So now we want to create. I want to see if it lets me. I can set up a new one. So I want to set up, yeah, okay. So you can only set one up. I thought you could only possess one. So if I add a new assistant, let's call it Peppercorn chatbot. And it's very easy actually. You can choose your AI model. The 4.0 mini is 1 credit per message. So
4.0 mini is really good. I don't see any point in paying extra credits.
no, 4.0 is 10 credits per message, and 4 Turbo is 20 credits per message. So it's amazing. It's got the welcome message on your bot. I'm going to leave these as the thing there, and it's got instructions for it as well. You can ask it to collect data with permission, and I'm gonna say David at form is. I'm going to leave that as the default as well, just so you can see how it works. And then appearance, you can change the color. Let's make it a bit more purpley because it doesn't want to move from blue. There you go. So let me make it. You can choose whether the chatbot automatically opens on your page load, or you have the little. You see the bottom right here. You can see the little chatbot symbol there. Let's just say that it will. Remove source annotations in the chat. Yeah, let's do that. If you want to hide the Brainy Bear branding, you got to pay money, so I'm not going to do that. Targeting, you can choose whether it pops up just on the desktop or somewhere else. We want it to appear on all pages of my website. So now I'm going to create the assistant. Right. So now I need to train so now you need to train it. So you need to give it some information. So I'm going to, it can scan a website. What I'm going to do is upload a file because I've already got one. This is the same file as I've got on Steffi's chatbot. Let me just upload. Oh, browser it first. That'd be a good idea. Oh, it's got nothing to.
That's good. You could do a whole bunch of Q&A, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That's clever.
Yeah, that's right. So if you've got everything, and you can have multiple uploads on one. That's Peppercorn. I want the desktop. Peppercorn train PDF.
Oh, I might go for this.
Yeah. Now that file has only got it's only got my basic stuff, my contact details. The data usage, I've used 26,000 out of 2 million bytes. So it's obviously got capacity to take a lot more. It's got capacity to take a lot more. Okay, so it looks like it's already taken that in. So
cool.
I need to, there's a little symbol there to embed. So you can embed it on your website here. So I'm going to manually copy this in because there is a WordPress plugin, but it seems to cause an issue with Elementor, which is what I'm using. If you're using a normal builder on WordPress, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Jackie, or anybody.
No, I do. I've got a WordPress website, so yeah.
Okay. So I'm using Elementor here. So I'm going to edit. I'm going to stick this into the, I always stick them in the footer because the rest of the page will load while it's loading some code. And it's not very big, the code, but this is what I've previously done. And then if I go in there, I'm going to change that script because that's one I tried yesterday. This is my new script. Should be able to update that. Hopefully, when it actually, I'm just viewing the footer, aren't I? I should be able to. Hey there, I'm your AI. Whatever I've typed into the website will come up here. So, how do I contact you? Hopefully, it comes up with the right information. David@peppercorn.biz. Okay. How do I view my invoices? And it seems to be taking its time. It was quicker yesterday. Navigate or directly visit, and it's hyperlinked as well. So so go to membership account or directly visit member account from there, blah blah blah. So yeah, so that chat works, and then or you can just have it in that state when it first switches on. So yeah, I think that's
Interesting.
I think that was pretty good. It was really easy to set up. You know, it was really simple. But if you got a heavy use site, then obviously the money side might put people off. I'm not sure, but I mean, but like I said, you can buy pay-as-you-go credits. So.
I like it. I'm just setting up my chatbot now. I'm going to embed it in your PCM and put loads of help in there. How do you do that?
Yeah, because it's very straightforward. It's mobile friendly as well, and it's I think it's something I'm using. I probably wouldn't use it for clients right now because of the cost thing. You know, unless you'd have to charge, if you were doing it for clients, you'd have to charge a monthly fee that might be prohibitive. But otherwise, people run away with the number of chats. You know, depends on how much usage. I mean, a lot of websites, you know, don't get that many visitors, and the ones that do don't necessarily use the chat. So it'd be interesting. Depends how much a chat is worth. I mean, how much each interaction is worth. I mean, if you get a client every 10 interactions, then obviously you'd pay the money all day long, you know. But I mean, it depends on what that does. But you can upload an awful lot of information there, though. It's a big old it's a big old thing, and really, I was amazed how simple it was, you know. So
you need something that's going to try and break these chats, like something else. You can just say, right, stick all this stuff with the chat and see what it comes up with. Like most of the big ones, like NatWest, their one is absolutely appalling.
Yeah.
You ask for anything more than the most basic little things, it has no idea what to do. And no one is monitoring this stuff.
No, because I mean, obviously, back when I used to create chatbots for people, and it was making a huge flow diagram, you know, and it was constantly asking. It did ask for input, but it was just like a massive questions, and well, it was basically a flow chart, like any other flow chart. You had to create all that first, and then you had to program it into the chatbot. So that's why they were quite relatively expensive. And if anybody asked something out of the ordinary or asked it in a different way, or you couldn't have a keyed in query so much if it didn't recognize those words, not for the sort of level I was working at anyway. So
with NatWest, I hammer away at, I want to talk to a human.
Exactly, yeah, and they often don't respond to that now.
Human, speak to human.
I mean,
3 days to respond.
You can just put in a one-liner. I want to speak to if they want to speak to a human, and if they say a person or use different terminology, I want to speak to somebody. It will take that and it'll know that that means the same thing. And then you can just put your phone. If they say I want it to human, give them 0784005, give you your number. So
it's almost like we all need a prompt. So whenever we use any of these chatbots online, we have We have an AI thing that will actually go and talk to those prompts with all the things we might want to talk about, like speak to human and stuff, just to see if we want to engage with them in the first place.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's, I mean, a lot of people, you know, I mean, I would probably give the chatbot a go, see if it could answer my question, because it's going to be the quickest way. And I hate those that said, we can't answer your question, we're putting you through to a customer service agent, and then the thing goes around for about 15 minutes. You know, somebody should be with you in the next 15 minutes. And then 20 minutes later, it pops up, by which time you're doing something else and you've missed it. And they say, if you want anything else, get back in touch. And it shuts down the chat, you know, and and it emails you the conversation that you didn't have.
Yeah.
It can be a little bit irritating.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, it's 10:59. I'm just going to press stop.